All right, I'm going to say something here that needs to be said. Brian MacLellan needs fired as the GM of the Capitals. You see, this year they have limited cap space. So what does he do? He trades Vitek, and now they are not qualifying Ilya Samsonov. So now the Capitals have no goalie. The past, 4 or 5 years, they've had first round eliminations every year, ever since Trotz left. Each trade deadline, Capitals never actually bring in anyone that's helpful. This past year they needed defense and goalie. What did they bring in? A pass first winger that could pass it over to Ovi and some like fourth line player that was just random. So I don't know what is going to get them to realize that Brian MacLellan is not the answer for the Capitals as GM. It's sad to say that he is completely wasting Ovechkin's last couple years. He's wasting Backstrom's last couple years. He's an awful GM. Always gives out bad contracts. You look at the Pittsburgh Penguins. They just got Letang for $6 million. If Letang was in a Caps uniform, he'd be getting probably $8-9 million a year because Brian MacLellan has no clue what to do as a GM. It's consistent that he shows this, which I don't know why he hasn't been fired yet. You see all the Twitter responses. Wow, they have no goalie. I'm still surprised fans have hope for him because me, I have no hope. The Caps are not making it past the first round. They're not going to win a cup with Ovi, and it's sad to say, but they need to either A, just start a rebuild, or B, fire Brian MacLellan, get a better GM that is committed to winning with the current group, and hopefully, something comes of that. It's either, it's going to be sad seeing, like, if they do decide to go rebuild, everyone leaving and being traded for picks, but you're at a time where, everyone's getting up in age. You need to get youth. You're going to have to trade them for prospects or picks. What's the point of keeping them around if you're not going to try to put them in the best position to win? What is the reasoning of keeping them if you're not going to make that, extra move to try and push them past the first round and make a run? There's really no reason to. And I get now everyone's like, oh, yeah, let's see Ovi break Gretzky's goal record. To me, it's like, all right, yeah, it's cool if he gets it, but, like, I bet he would probably take another cup or two. And with Brian MacLellan, that's not going to happen. He is not committed to winning. They have last season goalie was a big issue for him. So what does he do? Gets rid of the two promising goalies on the roster that really, yeah, they got to develop and all that, but right now that's your best shot. You don't have the cap room to go out there and get a top tier goalie. And on top of that, re-sign everybody you need. With Backstrom out long term, who knows? It's just, I don't know why he's still around. I thought he would be gone after this last season, but for some reason he's still there. He's like a leech or something. He just sticks around and, he just drains the life of the team and all that. And I give props to every Caps fan that still has faith in the team because I do not. I just don't see how they're going to win whenever all other teams are getting better. And yet the Capitals are just doing nothing. It's the same story over and over again. This season, I don't see them getting past the first round if they make the playoffs. Because you just know with Brian MacLellan, it's the same thing. They're not going to put they don't have the money to put into, like, free agency. He's not willing to make that big trade that's going to, bring in depth and all that. He's not willing to even add a, player at the deadline that's actually going to do something. And it's just the same story every season since Trotz left. And I hate to say it because whenever Trotz left, I was like, all right, Trotz was just, you could get another coach, the team's there. But looking back, Trotz is what got the Capitals to play defense, play their roles, play their positioning. And now you have, Peter Laviolette over there, and he's a good coach, but I mean, I feel bad for every Capitals coach because you have a GM who doesn't want to do anything, and they put blame on the coach. But realistically, it looks like Trotz is the only coach that actually could do anything with this roster. And you look at that, and it falls on Brian MacLellan, which I don't know why they haven't fired him. I just don't get why he's still there, Like, he does stuff like this. He doesn't qualify Ilya Samsonov. If Samsonov gets an offer, at least, get something in return for him. But I don't know why. You just traded VTech and all that, and now I don't know who their goalie's get. Unless they somehow trade cap and, pick up a decent goalie. I mean, you got to think that hopefully, I mean, I don't want to see Backstrom being out long term, but I mean, you got to hope that they do something with Backstrom where it's long term IR and they use that cap towards, I don't know, Evgeny Malkin or somebody. But, like, I just don't see with this roster the way it is how they're going to make the playoffs and succeed. I mean, they might make the playoffs, but I don't see them succeeding. I don't see them making a run. And all that has to fall back on MacLellan. Like, he just doesn't. If I was in a GM, I would, put Ovi in the best situation, or I would trade him. If my identity for the team is going to be a rebuild for the next couple of years, you got to move Backstrom, you got to move Kuznetsov, you got to move Carlson, you got to move Ovi, and you just got to commit to a rebuild. You can't be in the middle ground with these players at their end of the careers, because what are they going to do? They're just wasting their careers. It's wasting, opportunity to build a new team. It's wasting everybody's time. And it's unfortunate that it's that way. Like, I think that, the fourth year in a row they were eliminated in the first round last year. You would think that would be enough to fire the GM who is in control of the roster and make the necessary changes. But now I'm at the point, I don't know. I can't see how, what can he do to get fired? Like, 4 first-round eliminations, you have an aging roster, and you have no cap space to do anything. Like, what? And you're letting, arguably, your 2 best goalies, you just let them go. I mean, yeah, you got draft picks back for VTech, but you didn't even draft a goalie out of that. You just, you didn't draft a goalie to come in and just, build up or whatever. And then you let Samsonov, who is theoretically supposed to be your starter now, he's just gone. No qualifying offer, so you're not going to get anything for him in return. And to me, it's just it's the worst case scenario. It's just, you have a GM who doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know if he's committed to a rebuild. He doesn't know if he's committed to winning now with an aging roster. What the hell are you supposed to do out of that? And I don't get why Caps fans have any faith that they're going to go past the first round. Like I said, all other teams, except for maybe even the Penguins, losing Malkin, if they lose him in free agency, they're still going to be a better team in the Metropolitan. It's just, I don't see how this team is. Yeah, look at this comment. But we just traded VTech, so we have no goalie. Exactly. It's just, it's the same story over and over and over again. I just don't get it. Like, you have no goalie now. Goalie was your issue last year, but you have no cap space to fix that goalie need. Unless you're trading away one of your players, or you're going to put Backstrom on long-term IR and use that money towards a goalie, you're going to end up with a middle-of-the-pack goalie like Matt Murray, or I think Holtby's out for the season or whatever, if he might be done playing hockey the last I saw, but Holtby might be out. And it's like, what are you doing? What is your goal? What is your path? What is your vision of this team going forward? And it looks like there is clearly no path. It's just, hey, let's get over the goal record and call it a day. Like, at least that's the vibe that I get with this team. They're not committed to winning because they don't do anything to show that. Trade deadline, they don't do anything. Free agency, they have no cap space. They're not willing to make the trades for like I get it, Carlson's a good like a defenseman, but you might have to move him. Like, he's up there in age. You have a decent amount of like prospects at defense. He might be a piece to move. Ovi's not going to be moved because he's the face of the Capitals. Backstrom probably isn't going to be moved. I like Kuznetsov, but you might have to move Kuznetsov. I think Tom Wilson, although he's a tone setter, he's overpaid for a goon. I just don't see why he's paid that way. And then you have Lars Eller, all that. But I don't know. I hope that I guess I'll give it one more season. It'll end the same way, first round elimination if they even make the playoffs. But after that, if they don't even make it to the second, you got to fire him. And if he's still on that team, I give up on, following the Capitals. But if you like this, subscribe, like, comment, tell me how you feel about the Capitals' current situation if you're a fan. I don't know, even tell me who you think they're going to get in free agency. And let me know.